Wait, take that back. So she was pregnant, had the baby, and was gone a week?
Less than a week. I didn't know managers could enter the transfer portal. Obviously, you and I are both pro NIL. We do think these players deserve to be making money. This JuJu situation, it's like she's going to be out for a year. She's still going to be able to be shooting commercials, making money, doing endorsements, and that is good.
I'm Megan Gailey.
And I'm CJ Toledano.
We're stand-up comedians. We're married.
We're parents, and we're huge sports fans.
Welcome to Co-Captains, a podcast that explores sports through a parenting POV.
Join us as we break down the family legacies
and cute babies
that define the culture of modern sports.
Welcome back to another episode of Co-Captains. Megan, we are in the thick of March Madness. How are you feeling?
Slightly underwhelmed.
Because the games aren't good, because we don't have those characters, although we have Amir Khan, but
some of it is just lack of time. You know, like I want to be watching more, but we have a child to take care of. But also there's no Cinderella teams on the men's or really the women's side.
Yeah.
The highest seed left is a 10, but it's Arkansas coached by Coach Cal, so it's not really like, that's not Cinderella. I'm proud of Purdue. They made it into the Sweet 16. I'm devastated by the JuJu Watkins ACL tear.
That just happened last night. And that's when I was trying to figure out who we've been following, since Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and, and some of these players went up to the pros. And it was we had JuJu and Paige. And JuJu, hometown kid here, we
not lost. From here, but plays here.
Yeah, plays here. But ACL, I mean, I famously have, the biggest tweet of my life was what do ACLs even do? And to tear that, it's just I don't know. There's something about that injury that is just, everyone knows, oh, you're out for the next year.
It's going to be a while. Yeah, had to be carried off the court, and then it was confirmed after that an ACL tear. USC was still able to win into the Sweet 16. Yeah. So it's listen, we've got these big name teams. Yeah. Coach Cal making it through with Arkansas, but they were ranked high for the preseason. In our personal brackets, I am beating you by 2 in the men's, and you are beating me by 2 in the women's.
I'm somewhat proud of it because remember what happened? I was signing up for it at the last minute.
And you wanted to autofill.
I autofilled. You got really upset with me.
I said that defeats the whole purpose of filling out the bracket. You might as well not fill out the bracket.
So what I then did, and I'm sure I could have figured out a way, I tried to clear it, but I couldn't. But I just went in and I did
a few changes.
Do I agree with this change? Do I agree with? And so So I would say just an early present for you. If I end up winning, it's not fair.
It's a computer. Or I guess you said it's an analyst.
You can pick an analyst.
Which analyst did you pick? You don't even remember. So I guess the biggest moment of the weekend was the Maryland buzzer beater over Colorado State. But Maryland is a 4th Street and Colorado State was. So so it's yes, it is fun, but the team that was supposed to quote unquote did win.
The biggest stories in the men's basketball tournament is Amir Khan though.
Yeah, but they lost.
I know. And immediately
to Purdue.
Then he's I'm transferring with the coach.
I didn't know managers could enter the transfer portal.
This is what I don't like about the current state of college basketball is these crazy moves are being speculated and pretty much confirmed before teams are even losing the tournament.
Well, it's also happening in football too. Yeah. Guys are
It's weird.
Sometimes sitting out of bowl games. It's changed the landscape. Obviously, you and I are both pro NIL. We do think these players deserve to be making money. You especially see this JuJu situation. It's she's going to be out for a year. She's still going to be able to be shooting commercials, making money, doing endorsements, and that is good. That is a positive change.
Yes.
The transfer portal, on the other hand, does feel like it needs some regulation. Yeah. It feels really loose, and that you can just go anywhere at any time. Yeah. And maybe that's me showing my age too, but they got to come up with some rules for it.
I just from a basic standpoint of if my teammates hey, let's go out there and win, and if not, I'm peacing out. I'm gonna go play for a bigger school.
I'm gonna look up where there's hotter girls.
Yeah. So
that's like why the SEC has so many good basketball schools now. I feel like they were like, those football games look fun.
Yeah.
Let's go there.
Yeah. Okay. So, we're middle of the tournament. Things are happening still. We don't really have these characters that we beloved or that are beloved as in previous years. But there were a lot of parenting stories.
Yes.
Like huge ones. I say let's start with Kim Caldwell. Is that her
Okay.
name?
So Kim Caldwell is the Tennessee women's head coach.
Yeah.
She coached the majority of her first SEC season pregnant. Now, Tennessee is
Insane.
obviously a women's college, like blue blood,
Yes.
Pat Summitt. So she coached pregnant.
That's
And
crazy.
then I have to make sure I read this because I want to make sure I have it right. She missed less than a week. Then her team beat UConn, the other blue blood of women's college basketball. And now she has coached the Tennessee ladies team to the Sweet 16.
Wait, take that back. So she was pregnant, had the baby, and was gone a week.
During less than a week. Then they beat UConn just during the regular season.
Okay.
Now we're in the tournament.
Put yourself in her shoes.
Well, that's
How
why
do you do that?
That's why I wanted to talk about this. I would like it to be on record. I will not be doing that. And Kim, kudos to you, but you are making me look bad because I went back to stand-up comedy 3 weeks postpartum.
Which is standing and pacing.
Standing and pacing
And yelling at people,
having
young
to
people?
wear breastfeeding pads in my bra to make sure I didn't leak through while I was on stage. And I also had to start writing a television show 3 weeks postpartum. And it was awful. I don't mean to out her business, but at 1 week postpartum, you are in a diaper. You are personally still wearing a diaper. You are having massive hormonal shifts. I sobbed every single day for 3 weeks, and that's totally normal. That's not postpartum. That is just the ups and downs of your body adjusting to your hormone level. So, Kim, what? Why are you making me look stupid?
Also, Kim, shout out to her. That's incredible.
Shout out to Kim. And I have to imagine female basketball players are being kind to her. If any of those girls gave her any gruff during that time, it's just it's absolutely insane to me. I'm going to try and do this thing this time. It's called the 5-5-5 rule.
Yeah.
It's 5 days in bed, 5 days on bed, 5 days by bed.
Yeah.
And then the next 5 days you coach in the SEC.
And you told me that plan the other week, and I said, I'm going to do it too.
No. And I said, no, you are not invited.
No,
You're
I
kicked
got to
out of bed.
support you.
No.
I'm going to do 5-5-5.
But
and when I'm going to add a week where I'm eating take fives,
we do keep.
just in bed watching 5 episodes of my favorite show every day.
And you hear female actresses go back to set. We keep seeing women do incredible things, and we are we are so far superior to anything men could do to any extent. But I also, it's can we sit down?
Yeah.
Can we sit down? We just had a baby and I'm in a diaper. Can I just sit down?
But it all just proves the point that ball is life.
Ball is life. Ball is life. Yeah. Kudos to Kim. This lot of father-son stories coming out.
I've already
this
cried
week.
this week about being a dad. I'm always on the brink of crying as a dad. It's really nuts.
What'd you cry about?
I know, you just think it puts your life in perspective. I'm just I'm saying this now because just prepping for these stories. I don't know. It's just we're as men, we're known as being dumb and goofy and careless, but still having more rights than everybody. And life is pretty good. And then you have another person, you're like, oh no, I have to think about somebody other than myself.
Yeah. And you're not even in a diaper.
Yeah.
Your undercarriage is intact.
Yeah. Women know this out the gate, but men, it's this big evolution. Whoa, I have to be them. And then, you have a kid and you're I care about this person a ton, and then also you think about your own dad, and it's just a lot.
Oh yeah, we cried watching that music video. We went to see we took our son to see the new Looney Tunes.
Oh my God, so
movie,
good.
really funny. Probably not approved for 2-year-olds, but we live on
If
the
you're
edge.
a Twilight Zone, Black Mirror, Invasion of the Body Snatchers,
it's funny.
go see the new Looney Tunes.
So I
Anyways.
was eating, and then we were going out to dinner after. And like a Looney Tunes movie is not the brutalist length. It's probably 84 minutes tops. And so I was having a pre-dinner at the movies hot dog, which I like have been thinking about all day. And one of our friends that was there with us, Cornell, he goes, "Man, I wish I could be pregnant for a day." And it's like, just so you can eat a hot dog, like you can eat a hot dog before you go have coconut shrimp and a strip steak, like I did, without having to go through all of this. So Mount St. Mary's men's head coach Donnie, what's his last
Donnie
name?
Lind, yeah.
Donnie Lind, gave a press conference. He had his son there next to him, Silas, and they start asking him about what it's been like to just be on this coaching journey to win and to get into the tournament and be able to bring his son. His daughter's there too, but they're like, we don't want her on camera. My daughter and wife. My daughter and wife, they're off doing something. I don't know. So we got Silas here, and they ask, and so the dad starts choking up, and we know that it is hard for coaches to be dads. We hear stories about guys sleeping there. That it's just like, it's a 24/7 job. They miss a lot of time. You say Dan Patrick, who even just covers sports, talks a lot about missing time with his kids. One anecdote that I always love is like Bruce Arians as a head coach was like, "I never want you to miss anything of your kids. I want you at games. I want you at recitals. Like if I find out you miss stuff, you're fired actually." But that's really going out of the way to make sure. And so coaches travel a lot. There's recruiting. It's just constant. And so now he has been able to bring his family with him on this journey. He chokes up, and then they turn the mic to Silas, who still has that sweet boy voice, and he chokes up and he said,
"These have been the best few weeks of my life, and I hope we have many, many more of them."
Yeah, no, and it's like, and I knew this pretty fast. You know, you have to, and same with you. Like when you have a kid, you don't just figure, you love this person and you're like, I want to spend as much time with them. But that's just not realistic, especially in these times. Like both parents have a job.
Stinks.
We live in Los Angeles because we have dreams, and that's who we are, who
Why?
chase these dreams. And also too, I really do strongly believe it is good parenting if they see a happy parent. And it's like, this is the situation that he's figured out for himself. Like he is a incredible head basketball coach, dedicated to his craft, but also a great father. So he figured he can bring his son there, and his son is loving it.
His son gets to miss school.
Gets to miss school.
That's amazing.
But it's so like, it is, and they probably don't expect it as much, but he's along for the ride as his dad takes L's in his own career.
It's also sweet too when you see a kid know something is special.
Yes.
Because like obviously you and I remember when I flew for the first time, I was probably like 5 and we were going to Disney World. My dad was like, "I didn't fly until I was 24. Yeah. And so I do think kids get to do stuff younger and younger. Yeah. Our son gets to do really fun things that's like, but when you still see like the wonder in their eyes, especially when it relates to like, this isn't just a cool thing I'm doing. This is a cool thing I'm doing because my parent is bringing me with them on their journey and their dream. I loved it.
Yeah, there's like, our jobs are hard, and I go, oh man, I could just go. We can move to a small town and just get regular jobs. Nothing bad about those regular jobs, but I'm like, no, this would be sick if I make this work. And like, we get to take our son to All-Star weekends, Super Bowls, like Summer League, all this cool, like, and so that's like kind of, it's been motivation to
we need Conrad to go to the Pro Bowl Skills Challenge. Okay? We haven't succeeded as parents unless he's got a little bucket hat.
He needs to see a quarterback throw balls at targets.
Yes.
And for the biggest men in the world to play dodgeball.
I really like you're using today's episode as therapy.
I've had to skip therapy a lot
Yeah,
because of so many meetings.
I can tell you that you're just like, you know what, I'm going to get it out on co-captains. Okay, so then we also had, staying with the tournament, Rick Pitino.
Yes.
Mount St. Mary's, number 2 seed, as we mentioned, lost to Arkansas. Then flew, so they lose, tough. Then he flies to watch his own son coach for New Mexico, who then also lost. So those two, they got to go out for like a steak dinner after. It's like, I took an L, you took an L. Let's go get surf and turf.
To go back to the St. John's Arkansas matchup, I was enjoying all of the memes of, we have so many like mobster movies, and both coaches have been like compared to mobsters.
I can't wait for the Pitino Scarface 30 for 30 that is coming.
But then they straight up in interviews were like, we're not friends.
We don't know each other's wives. We don't know each other's children. So we're not really, years have gone by, and I don't think we've been to dinner one time in our lifetime.
And people were posting like this matchup is like that scene in Heat when De Niro and Pacino are meeting for the first time.
For some reason, I think of Pitino as very Italian, and I don't think of Coach Cal as like the first thing that pops in my head is not like, oh, he's super Italian.
What about when you hear his last name?
Calipari? I don't know. Because maybe it's always Coach Cal to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Pitino, there's something about Rick Pitino that is just like so Italian.
I mean, but also just
maybe that's why they're not friends.
Legends,
he's like, you're not Italian. They're probably from different parts of the boot.
Yeah.
Pitino's giving me a Sicily. He's giving me like.
Is it wrong to be guessing?
No. Pitino feels Sicilian to me, and Calipari does not.
Yeah.
But I could be. This is my own Irish guess, and the Irish are mad at me right now. So
this is another delicate balance of, I love basketball so much. We work in sports. Our son seemed to like basketball. You don't want to overdo it. But then with Pitino, his son is a head coach who also haven't lost, and both are going through it. And it's just like, do you think Pitino is like, man, why did I bring my son into this cutthroat business?
No,
as well?
I'm sure he's proud.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's proud.
Hurley as well. Like, we talked about Hurley a bunch on last show. He cried. He yelled. He said some things that are being investigated. It's serious. These coaches are, I don't. The NBA seems easier.
And then Kim Caldwell, hormonal drops, just cool as a cucumber.
Yeah.
Okay, last tear-jerking parent moment from the NBA.
Yes.
And, okay, so Timberwolves player Joe Ingles.
Yeah, love Joe.
He's Australian. I always forget that. He feels like he's from Cleveland, but he is from Australia.
All white dudes in the NBA, without hearing them talk, seem like they're from Cleveland.
He just does not read Australian to me. So he had his first start in the last 3 years, and they really were making it like, we're letting him start. Like, it's like he is an NBA player. This is not like when they let they let some like former NFL player be on the Mavs for a day.
Tony Romo.
They let Tony Romo.
Yeah, he couldn't go on the court.
This is Joe Ingles is not his own Make-A-Wish. He is an NBA starter who is just older now.
A vet.
So he had his first start in 3 years. So his son Jacob, who is diagnosed with autism, could hear his dad's name called and also watch him play, because arenas are extremely like high stimulation, can be very, very difficult. We have been to an Angel City game, and there's a specific area for people that need lower stimulation. I think the Eagles ownership or maybe coaching has some family members that also have autism, and they have created a special space for them to be able to watch too. And so his son Jacob got to go. And like, I have seen the head coach's presser, Joe Ingles' presser. I looked at all of his wife's pictures and posts. Like, it's just like everyone seems so grateful to have each other. And the fact that I believe he's 8 or 9, got to see his dad be called into a game in a moment that would probably be really, really difficult for him to experience otherwise.
Yeah, just heavy stuff. It's awesome. I have nothing like, it's just awesome. Then when he, when I look at some of these guys and I go, I think a lot of people will be like, man, what a easy life they have. They make millions. They're doing the thing that they love for millions.
Not easy.
And it's like, yeah, but they are parents, and I liked what Joe said in the interview.
But I think people just need to understand that this is a real thing. It doesn't go away with money. It doesn't go away with situations you're in. And all we can do is talk about it, and then obviously for us, give Jacob the best chance to fit in this kind of crazy world that we're in.
Money doesn't solve everything. And to see a NBA vet talk about that at length is just like it was cool to see, but also I feel for him, but it's really cool that his son got to experience that. Tonight, because we couldn't find a babysitter.
Yeah, we're having our own version of this.
We're keeping.
I have book club. That's why I have my so many books, so little time shirt on.
We are allowing our son to stay up past his bedtime to go to my rec league game, where I am fully prepared to not go into the game. I'm going to have him sit on the bench with us.
He has his own jersey.
His own jersey, because I was responsible for getting us uniforms, and so I saw there was a toddler option, got him his own jersey. And he's going to sit on the bench with us. And we'll see. I may not be going in because I have to hold my son back from crawling onto the floor and playing with his trains.
Yeah. Well, because he also, he thinks he can go in.
Yes.
We saw a group of 30-year-old South American men playing very high-level soccer. And Conrad was like, I'm going to go in. Yeah. Literally, you can't even play with 4-year-olds, let alone these grown men who look like they played Division I soccer.
When I've come home from basketball, or I tell him when I pick him up from school and he asks me what I did, because sometimes I'll go and drop him off at daycare and then I'll go play basketball. And he'll be like, next time I go play basketball with the guys.
Yep, you go play basketball
and I'm
with
just
the guys.
Are you there's games, Connor, where I get shut down. You would not stand a second against these guys.
That confidence, though. He's
got that dog in him.
It's when Benedict Mathurin said, LeBron needs to be worried about me.
Yeah.
Conrad's got that killer instinct.
Yeah. He needs to have the killer instinct about getting to the potty. And,
about turning his listening ears on.
Yeah. I totally get it. On a much, much, much smaller scale, it does make me like and root for Joe Ingles a little bit more. So, March Madness time, as we said before, what I love about college basketball is that the coaches are sometimes most of the time more popular than some of these players. Mm-hmm. Just absolute legends, still coaching to this day. But a great thing about them is their nicknames. I feel like people don't really know that some of these coaches have the wildest nicknames. So we compiled a list, and we thought we would rank them here in our nickname Hall of Fame.
Okay.
All right, you ready? So let's start from 10 and work our way down to the top one.
Okay.
So
and I do think my bias about these people is also unfortunately going to come into play.
that's all right. Okay. I think, it's subjective.
Okay. You go first.
All right. At number 10, I'm going to go with, because I've never really heard this one, John Wooden, legendary coach.
You're not putting John Wooden at 10.
I'm putting him at 10.
No.
Based on the
just
nickname. It's not who he is as a coach.
Wizard of Westwood? First of all, that's close to us. What
do you want to put at 10?
I'm enacting a veto.
Okay, what do you want at 10?
And I'm saying no. I'm going to put Dan Hurley, the carpenter.
That is also...
Because I just I've never, first of all, he's active right now.
Yeah.
We know a lot about this man, and I've never heard that. And I just
Why? Why is it the carpenter?
So my grandpa, he got thrown out. He was banned from watching. My dad had 3 brothers. They were all in high school at the same time. They all played varsity football and basketball together. Okay. So it's you have 4 sons on the court. And my grandpa, his nickname was the Screamer. And that's why he got banned, because he was just he would just try and fight the refs. Rest in peace, amazing man. And that's what Dan Hurley's nickname should be. The Stomper, the Screamer, the Tantrum.
You never saw that one game where he built a side table?
No, I didn't.
In the second quarter?
I think it's because he can rebuild teams.
Okay,
and the Lakers needed it this year.
Cool, but he's number 10.
Okay. We got to go through this a little bit faster. So let's go. You called number 10. So number 9, I'm going to say, I'm going to go Adolph Rupp. The Baron of the Bluegrass.
The Baron of the Bluegrass is much better than Adolph Rupp. So I love that. Okay. I have never heard this. I just call him Coach Cal, so I'm going to put at number 8, Swaggy Cal.
I've heard it here and there, but it's never really stuck. But Swaggy Cal, and the guy is swaggy. He's cool.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big Coach Cal fan. So, but I do like that spot. I'm going to go, this is number 6.
Mm-hmm.
7. I'm going to go, ooh, you know what? I'm just going to go, I'm going to do this because I've never really heard people call him this, but he's a legend. Bob Knight, the General.
Yeah.
Bobby Knight.
Yeah, Bob Knight, the chair thrower.
Yes.
Again, the tantrum would work for this too. Okay. Gosh. Woo.
6. Number 6.
Okay, number 6. I am not I'm not a gun gal, so I'm going to put Rifle Rick there. And it's a tough nickname.
Why is that one?
I don't even.
Rifle Rick. Next time I see him. Rifle Rick. What's up? Okay, number 5. This dude's a legend. It's a little too simple. It's barely a nickname. Dean Smith, the Dean.
Oh, see, I thought you were going to say Coach K.
No, that's number 1. That's classic.
You think, but it's just
simple, but it's so cool.
But it's just
because
his name is hard.
It knows.
Okay.
We'll go back to it.
Okay.
You can put it wherever you want.
Okay, so you just
I
did
love
the
it.
Dean. Then I will put the Wizard of Westwood here.
Okay.
John Wooden coached at UCLA. Do you know where he played, though?
Purdue.
Purdue.
He's a basketball legend. There is a lot of Indiana UCLA connections.
Indiana is just like, you can't separate basketball away from Indiana.
Yeah.
It's just what we got.
Whenever we go there, everyone has a gorilla hoop.
Yeah, and you're
awesome.
like, man, this is beautiful architecture.
And I'm talking about the gorilla that was there from the owners before. Okay, number 3, Tom Izzo, Mr. March.
Ugh.
I
love him.
Mr. March. Or they are still in it?
Oh yeah, I have him winning. He is Mr. March. He will take a 8 seed, nothing. Nobody's been talking about Michigan State team, and I just hear that he's just like a wonderful man, great coach, and I love him. I love him.
Yeah. All right, our last 2. Number 2. It's you.
Oh, okay. I love Roy Williams. Like, I love seeing him. I love his dance.
Yeah.
That's a gif in the locker room. He has style. He's still around. I feel like he is such an incredible ambassador and a grandfather, an angel. And this is just because he's like a dagnabbit. And I love those kind of older gents. So Dadgum Roy.
Dadgum Roy. Yeah, I was waiting. You didn't say what his nickname was. Dadgum Roy. Dadgum. Yeah, your dad says a lot of those.
He does the Joe Pesci from Home Alone a lot.
Yeah, I feel like I feel those creeping into my body, like my dadgums, and I can't remember what I say. Anyways, number 1, mentioned it before, Coach K. I just think. He's probably to me the most legendary college coach, but like Coach K, so many coaches in the world in history, last name starts with a K, but there's only one Coach K.
That's true. I believe him and Bob Knight coached at West Point together too.
Incredible.
We're assistant coaches together. Yeah. So it's like the general, and then Coach K, he got the military one. He just got your last name's hard.
If we missed any coach nicknames, leave them in the comments.
Writing off the success of our toddler March Madness bracket.
Got a lot of parents hitting us up about it. Love it.
The mom groups I'm in are loving it. And they're agreeing for the most part with the national championship, which is going to bed on your own. We are doing today foul or clean. I'm going to describe a situation to you in my parenting. You will do the same. Yeah. And we're going to rule if that's a foul, or we're going to swallow the whistle and say it's a clean play.
Okay.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So when you and I are together as a family with Conrad,
Mm-hmm.
I say, yeah, go Lakers, go Pacers. And then when it's just Conrad and me, I say, no, the Lakers are bad. They're bad guys. They're boo. They're not nice to Batman. They're mean to Spider-Man. They know the Green Goblin. They're bad. And it's only the Pacers who are the good guys.
Foul or clean? I say that's clean. For you, I know how much it means to you, and as like a more recent Lakers fan, I can't be like, what the heck?
And is a little bit of it too, because you're not that worried about the Pacers winning out in his fandom.
No, because it's definitely changed in the last few months since we got Luka, but like the Pacers. And I think Tyrese Halliburton and I think the rest of this team, they're young guys and they might resonate better with this generation. Like I liked the younger NBA players growing up like more than, I'm trying to think of like early 2000s.
You liked Allen Iverson more than you liked David Robinson.
Yes, exactly. So genuine concern. Okay. If our son is going to know ball, he'll know whether Tyrese and them are better than like Luka and whatever the Lakers look like in a few years. So
okay.
All right. Here's a scenario. Our son starts throwing a tantrum in the cereal aisle because he can't get the specific sugary cereal he wants. I cave immediately and get him what he wants.
You know that I usually cave.
That's usually what she does.
I usually cave, but under the pretense that I'm not caving. You know, that I'm actually doing something beneficial.
Yeah.
And so I have to call that a clean play. And also, we like sugary cereals. Like,
I know.
Conrad eats better healthy cereals than we do.
Just in general, as a parent, I know a lot of people can probably relate to this. It's so funny when I am so adamantly like telling him no on something, and it's merely I just don't want him to become like me.
Well, you also are like, you need to eat that. And in my mind, I'm like, CJ, you haven't had a vegetable in 7 days.
Yeah. So I just don't want him to follow my path. In that
Panda
way.
Puffs are good. Okay. Okay. So Conrad becomes fascinated with a kids' TV show about an a cappella group. Horrified that he could go down that path. I tell him that show isn't on Netflix anymore and show him another kids' show, which I wouldn't do because I love singing.
That's clean.
Yeah, but like
I like it.
Sometimes
you definitely do that with Blippi.
Sometimes I go, oh no, Blippi had to go home. Blimpy's not on the TV anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Max, how did you get these?
I made them up.
Pretty good. All right, next one.
So you're saying it's clean.
I think it's clean. I like it.
We're not fouling out of this game.
During a hectic travel day, our son tells me that my breath stinks. I pop some minty gum, telling him that it's the same thing as brushing your teeth. Foul or clean?
I'm going to say foul.
Yeah, I think it's a foul.
Because, first of all, he shouldn't tell you your breath stinks, but we tell him his breath stinks a lot.
The dude barfed. I'm sorry to break. Megan said not bring this up. Yesterday, milestone, he said he had a puke. And I was like, oh no, this is definitely getting on him and on the floor. But he walked into the door of the house, walked straight to the bathroom, and just perfectly, like a statue fountain, puked into the toilet perfectly. And then just go, I feel better. And I was just like, dude, you gotta brush your teeth after that.
So teeth brushing is a struggle. And at his age, he can't chew gum. And so I don't want him to then go, oh, I can chew gum and it's the same.
Dada don't brush his teeth. He chewed gum.
Okay, this one, the scenario described in this is a less bad version of something that's actually happened in real life already. One night, I'm home alone with Conrad. I think he's not paying attention, so I put on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. He accidentally learns about something inappropriate. Oh. Call it tax fraud.
This is crazy that Max, you've been listening to us. That's a foul. That's a foul. Why? Because it's a foul in real life when you showed him traitors.
And the thing is, in this scenario, I'm like, oh, he's doing something else.
Yeah.
In traitors, I was like, come sit with mama.
Listen, it was
We're
hard
gonna watch
times.
A family.
It was hard times, and he loved saying traitors and being like, I want to watch traitors. And we were staying in a vacation.
We were evacuated from our home during a fire.
Yeah.
And And this was the third location we were at.
Yeah.
And listen, I was broken. And I said, if my toddler likes traders, then great. Now I can start a podcast with him.
It's a foul, but I get it.
It's a foul,
Call it
and
as I
I've
see it.
learned my lesson. And we had a long talk about how that was Mama's bad, and Mama should not have let him watch a spooky show.
He said, Mama, I'm scared of traders. I don't want to watch traders anymore. Like after 3 episodes, and they're long episodes. And I watched a little bit too because I like Robin Dixon.
And it is scary.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Lastly, while watching a game, I get too excited and knock a plate of pizza off the coffee table, staining the carpet. Embarrassed, I blame it on our son.
That's a major foul.
That's a major foul. I am suspended.
The only thing you can pretend blame on your kid is a toot.
Yes.
And then it's understood that like you're being silly. Like, oh, like it's like, and then you're like, who was that? That is, but you can't.
We all be farting right now.
You can't blame messes on that.
No. That's not cool.
No.
And honestly, it's kind of like messes are acceptable now because our son has gotten food and stomped his dirty feet on everything.
There's not a world where you would spill pizza where I would be like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, that's just something I come to accept about you because I love you.
That's the level of marriage you need to get to, where you can be the disgusting slob and your wife will say she loves you on a podcast.
I said in our wedding vows that I would eat Domino's with you till the last day on earth.
Till the last day on earth?
Our last day on earth.
Are we working at the Domino's at that point?
No, I think
just
we're
making our own.
No,
pizzas?
I think we're in hospice and we're getting
gotcha.
A medium pan pizza delivered to Split.
Ooh, that sounds good. To Split.
Well, I guess it's our last meal in hospice.
All right. Well, that's been another wonderful episode of Co-Captains. It was great talking to you, my wife.
Talking to you. Hey, I'll talk to you later
Talk
at
to
our
you
house.
later, dog. Subscribe to Whistle. Do you have any?
Oh yeah, I have shows
coming
in
up?
Chicago. I will. This comes out on Thursday. I'll be doing a fire benefit for the LA fires at the Laugh Factory in Chicago, and then I will be headlining 2 shows at the Lincoln Lodge Friday and Saturday.
And I'll be here.
And he'll be here spilling pizza with our son.